in this country. So we started Clever Harvey as a place where any high school student, so from the grades 8 to 12, can come in and test drive various careers. So the same way in which you would maybe make a purchasing decision for, let's say, a car or a motorbike or anything. We intend for Clever Harvey to be a place where students can come in and sort of get that ability to test drive careers. And this has numerous benefits. So we the way in which we do it through experiential programs is very involving. It's very practical, it's very applied. All students end up with sort of original projects that help them in university admissions. And our main goal here is that they're able to sort of discover for themselves what it is that they're good at and what does they like to do. Because once you have that level of clarity, everything else sort of follows in line from that. So this is the purpose behind why we run Clever Harvey. You might have heard of our programs. These are a series of live programs that we call the Junior MBA. Now, you might be thinking, why is it the Junior MBA? We initially intended for this to be kind of like a mini business school for all students. It's called the Junior MBA because we use the case study approach that most business schools use to design these experiential programs. So what you're seeing here on the screen is a full sort of portfolio of programs as they stand right now. We have several more in the pipeline. But these are programs in topics like entrepreneurship, data analytics, digital marketing, advertising, UI, UX design, finance, tech, product design, visual design, branding, consulting. And what we do in each of these programs is these are 3-week long, so an hour every day for 3 weeks, so Monday to Friday for 3 weeks, just 1 hour a day. And students are guided by an expert in that field, all the way from knowing, learning the basics of that field to, applying it to an industry project that our industry partners share with them, and providing them feedback, evaluating their output, and so on. Every child completes an original project. So in the case of entrepreneurship, their project is a business pitch, Shark Tank style pitch. In the case of data analytics, their project is to build a data dashboard. In the case of digital marketing, it's to design an Instagram campaign. And similarly, so here it's to actually publish a video ad for Domino's. Here it is redeveloping the website according to UX UI design principles. In this case, they create an interactive tool that actually allows people to invest their savings, with a split between debt and equity, within equity, small cap, mid cap, large cap, which sectors to focus on, fundamental analysis. In the tech program, they create a prototype app and so on. They repackage Kellogg's, in this case, using a 3D packaging tool. They build an operation plan for Taj Hotels. So each of these are live sort of applied projects where students can get that first-hand exposure to what that field is. Did they enjoy it or not? Did they, are they able to sort of quickly assimilate the fundamental principles of that field, or are they struggling with that? Are they enjoying the process of creating an output in that field? And also it gives them an immense amount of confidence when they finally do present their final project, because it's the first time they've actually created something unique outside of the school curriculum, outside of what they're expected to do for exam prep anyway. So this is a very high-level overview of what we do, and we can later get into detailed discussions. But these are basically live online batches. Students complete an original portfolio project. So I'll walk you through how this is designed to cater to different types of students. So some of our programs that might appeal to students who have sort of a tech or an engineering focus. We have programs in tech with Cult Fit, programs in user interface and user experience design, which is the front end of all tech. The data analytics program, which is sort of core to the back end of most tech. Similarly, for students with a business and a finance focus, we have programs in entrepreneurship. This is in partnership with Multiply Ventures and the eCell of IIT Roorkee. As part of this program, we run quarterly competitions where students sort of take part in the inter-school competition, where at the final stage, they go to IIT Roorkee and present their final business plans there. Numerous students have gotten funded through this. The consulting program, again, this is a business strategy and consulting in partnership with Taj Hotels, where students understand various business strategies, how they can sort of plan contingencies, or what does it mean to be in charge of the operations of an organization. They get a behind-the-scenes view of how Taj operates, and they have a chance to actually redesign the ops flow for one of the Taj properties. The program in finance, again, is for students with a business and finance interest. This one, as I mentioned, helps them delve into what it's like to be a wealth manager. What does it mean to evaluate risk? What does it mean to, what do different sort of financial instruments mean? How do they work? What is the role of various professions when it comes to the world of finance, whether it's an investment advisor, whether it's an investment banker, whether it's a venture capital firm, retail banking. There's a gamut of exposure that they get to that program in finance. These are some of our programs for students with a design or an applied psychology focus. So design is basically applied psychology in many ways. It's understanding how users consume things. How do we consume information? How do we consume? How do we make decisions? And a lot of this ends up, boiling down to things like branding, packaging design, user interface design. So these are programs that students from a design and applied psych background really enjoy. And finally, we have a set of programs for students with a communications focus. So these are programs in digital marketing, in advertising, and in branding and design. So that's a quick whistle-stop tour of what we're doing. We, over the last few years, we've worked with over 15,000 students. We largely see three types of outcomes that parents, write to us about, that parents thank us for. One is that, for a lot of students, the first-hand experience helps them get to clarity faster. It makes it easier for them to identify their goals. It makes it easier for them to choose, make confident choices when it comes to colleges, courses, careers. The second one, of course, is college admissions. This is a very happy byproduct of what we do, is that we are helping every child build a portfolio of several industry projects. And as a result of that, we've had several alumni actually get into excellent universities, some of them with full scholarships. And the final one is we have a number of students on our platform who have extremely high initiative. They've started businesses at a very young age. They participate in their family business. Their understanding of how the corporate world works as a result of these programs is great, I think, and parents really appreciate that. So I guess that's a quick whistle-stop tour of what the Junior MBA is. Who is it meant for? How do students benefit? I can get into a bunch of the following slides, but before that, I'll just pause and take any questions. Following this, I'll basically cover how we partner with universities, how we partner with schools, as well as in individual counselors.
Thanks, Sriram. Does anybody have any questions at this point based on what we've seen so far? Yeah, go ahead, Srividya.
Yeah. Hi, Ram. This is Srividya. I head the inclusive cell and the counseling cell for the Vibhya group of schools. And we have 36 schools pan-India. I had, a couple of questions asked. Your offering is really good. Is it a hybrid model or is it completely virtual?
So it depends on, when we work with schools, we have two models. One is there is a sort of an opt-in model where we go to a school, we conduct a complimentary masterclass on several subjects, all of which are NEP-like. And we, this is completely complimentary basis. We do this, let's say, once in July, once in August, once in September, once in October. And at the end of each program, we have students who opt into our online batches. So that's the first model of how we partner with schools. The second one is we actually partner with a few schools to run school-wide programs. So here schools that want to make sure that every child has access to let's say a career discovery platform. In the case of Rustomjee Cambridge School. So the way we have implemented this for them is they purchase a certain number of vouchers from us, and they essentially give this to students, and they say you can redeem this against any of these programs. But in the next 3 months, you have to complete at least one program, and we run a kind of a culmination event at the school at the end of it, where all of the students presenting that they have done in those 3 months. So this gives the students a lot of flexibility in terms of if they're interested in design, interested in finance, interested in marketing, interested in tech. They follow that choice and they complete a project, and it all comes together in that culmination event. We also offer a model like, for example, the Indian Public School TIPS in Coimbatore, Salem, Erode. With them, we run a model where the entrepreneurship program is run for all students of grade 8. Marketing is run for all students of grade 9. Tech is run for all students of grade 10, and so on. So finance is run for all students of grade 11. So this is a kind of a school-wide implementation. And in this case, because all students are doing the same program, we actually offer this on-site.
Okay, great. So some of the program that you have mentioned about setting up the SOP for Taj or for Culfit, is there do you add an element of on the field experience? Do they get that kind of an exposure?
So we are planning to. I think until COVID, that really wasn't an option. But now that's something that we are leaning towards doing more and more. We have a lot of. I think the challenges are largely logistical, which is getting permissions from parents for schools for sending students offsite. But if that can be managed from the school side, then these partners would be happy to host students.
And one last question: this junior MBA, what's the age criteria? From which grade do you start?
8th standard, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Yeah, you can continue.
Thanks, Srividya.
Thanks, Srividya. Go ahead, Neeraj.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Ram, for the presentation. So, like you said, it's a 3-week program, 1 hour every day. So, like, if it is out of school, then like the students have to attend some live classes, or like it's like how does that work? Because you said 3-week certified program. So, is there a time limit in which they have to complete it, or like because it's very difficult to get students on an online program to come continuously? So how do you tackle that?
Yeah, no, great question. So what we do is we run a series of evening batches. So every Monday our programs begin. We have batches running all the way from 3:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m., 5:30, all the way until 9:30, which is actually our most popular slot. So students pick any of these slots according to their schedule. And on that same slot, they basically do a 3-week at a stretch. And at the end of that 3 weeks, they have a culmination day where they present their project, and then they can take an indefinite break until they start the next program. So they time it basically. So they time it so that it ends before the exam begins. They time it so that it takes place within the Diwali break and so
on. Thanks, Ram. Go ahead, Anu.
Yeah, hi. So I think Neeraj just asked the question. So this is not self-paced, Ram, as much as I understand. This is partly self-paced. You give them few options of time slots. Is that right?
So self-paced in the sense that these are live programs. So it's not
live interactive programs.
Correct. So these are small cohort programs as well. So we
how many people in a batch?
These are run in cohorts of 10 students. And it's for 15 sessions that are spread over the 3 weeks. So that cohort of 10 works together in that particular program.
Okay, on the projects?
On the projects, yes. So
project?
Teams of 2, teams of 3, they present the project together. And these are pan-India batches. So we actually have, in any one batch, you could have students from, say, Jammu, from Assam, from Kerala, from Mumbai, from Gurgaon. And we've seen some fantastic results as a complete byproduct of running these pan-India batches.
Okay, and how many batches, if I might ask, have you run already? I mean, how many has it been into junior MBA?
So we So far, we've had around 15,000 students who have gone through these programs. So that's close to around, I think I would say around 2,000 batches that we have.
And over how many years?
Last 3 years.
3 years. All right.
So we started this in April 2020.
Ran through the COVID.
Yeah, right through COVID. In fact, this was designed to be an in-person, in-school thing. But I'm glad that COVID came in and sort of forced a hand going online, because that's the best thing that we could have done.
Right. Gives more students opportunities to connect.
Yeah, so initially we were going to pilot this with a few schools in Bombay where we headquartered, Pawar Public School, and a couple of school groups that we had tied up with here for piloting this. But the minute we sort of flipped it to being online, within a span of 1 week, we converted all the programs to be runnable online. And we instantly started getting students from the Gulf, from Southeast Asia, some from US, Pacific, East Coast time zones. So I guess from a business perspective, for us, the market has opened very wide as a result of us going online.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ram. That's part.
Thanks, Anu. Thanks, Ram. I guess we can move forward, Ram, and then we'll take more questions.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'll just I'm not sure what my screen.
We went through this. You can go. I think you were going to talk about how you work with universities and schools. Yeah, this is the slide. Yeah.
So over the last couple of years, what we've done is approached a number of universities across India. These are universities that, apart from just the transcript of the child, they also value the sort of other holistic development that the child has invested in. So we have signed MOUs with over 35 universities. The universities like, say, Plaksha or Amrita, Flame, Shivnadar, and so on, where students who complete Clever Harvey programs and they upload their certifications as part of the admission, they are eligible for a range of benefits, from scholarships to waivers on the application fee to preferential admissions in many cases. So this is if you have students who have done Clever Harvey projects, we highly recommend they should write this in their applications to universities, because more likely than not, the university is one of our partners and can give them a sort of leg up in the admission process. Other than that, I mentioned how we partner with schools. We run these complementary masterclasses in schools. So we have currently run these programs in close to around 800 schools across India. If you're associated with a school and you think that the school would benefit from having a sort of platter of programs, a whole sort of bouquet of programs on a platter, we can go in there and deliver this for them. Currently, we are covering the western region of India, so Mumbai, Pune, Nasik. We're covering the south, which is Hyderabad, Chennai, and Bangalore. We're covering the central region, which is Indore, Bhopal, Ahmedabad, Surat, Baroda. And we're covering the north, which is NCR plus all of Punjab. So that's pretty much it. For counselors, we have partnership programs with them. This is essentially a way for counselors to refer our programs to students that they work with, where they think that the child will benefit from the sort of the experience that a Clever Harvey program can provide. And if you're interested in learning more about that, I'd love to connect with you. You can either DM me after this presentation, or you can actually, that's the best way. You can just DM me right after the presentation.
Thanks for that, Ram. I've already shared your LinkedIn profile on chat. I'll reshare it, and you can feel free to drop in your email ID, and if you're comfortable, and your number as well on chat. And people can get in touch with you, not a challenge. That would be great. And I had a question. In fact, I had a couple of questions. One is around, I saw the list of universities, and they're largely Indian. Do you have plans to partner with international universities, more international universities?
We could start with Illinois Tech, if you think this would be beneficial.
We do actually run our own pre-college program, but yeah, I'm very happy to discuss this with you. This would be very interesting for us because we are revamping our admission process for next year. So it's probably the right time to do that.
Yeah, so actually the reason that universities find this valuable is because it gives them a pre-curated set of students. So for example, in the case of Plaksha, Plaksha has only a couple of programs, one in BTech and one in data analytics. And the data analytics program, for example, if they had to find students to apply for that, they would essentially have to set up an entire country-wide outreach team. But we graduate close to 600 students every year in our data analytics program. So that's a pre-curated list of students who have already shown an interest in data analytics. So which is why I think we find this to be very valuable.
Absolutely. And Srividya, I see your hand up. I know, Saurabh, you have a question as well. And Swagat, you too. Just one last thing. I think I really appreciate that you have talked proactively about your partnership possibilities with independent counselors. We have a very, very large and flourishing community of independent counselors within the collective. So if any of you are here, feel free to reach out to Ram, because it's not just for schools and universities. Even you can partner with Clever Harvey. Go ahead, Srividya, then Saurabh, then Swagat.
Thanks, Bhakti. So I have 3 questions to ask. One is there any specific timeline that you follow for implementing these programs in schools?
No, so there isn't a specific timeline that we follow per se. Schools typically prefer to do this either in the first term or sometime before November, because after that it sort of starts getting into exam mode. So most of our school deliveries, school program implementations happen. They're happening right now. Basically, they're happening in July, August, September, October. That's the prime period for these to happen.
Okay, great. My second question is: do you offer this? Like I saw some 8 to 10 programs you're offering. Is this a standard set of program that you offer, or it keeps changing every year?
No, so these are standard programs that we offer. We will keep adding to this list. So initially, when we had started in 2020, we only had 3 programs. I think that was entrepreneurship, advertising, and tech. And then since then, we've added a bunch more. And it is in our roadmap to add several more, at least double this library by the end of this year.
Okay, thanks, Sriram. So, and the last question is the most important one. What's the fee of the program that you charge approximately?
Oh, sure. So each of these programs is 7,500 rupees.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. Who was the second person? I forgot. Swagat or? Yeah, go ahead, Swagat. Actually, Saurabh, but he's not here. Go ahead, Swagat.
Okay. Great work, Sriram. I think this requires a lot of effort. Fortunately, I'm also in the similar field, and I'm doing kind of work which resonates with this. With that said, I just had a interesting question, because this is a challenge that I have faced with the months that we've been running. Like, how do you select students? Like, is this a selection procedure, or is anyone who's willing to do that attends it? And the challenge that I've faced with my team is that sometimes some of the kids are way too bright for a particular cohort. How do you balance that? Like, are particular kids who have a particular set of skills put together, or is it random?
So yeah, that's a great question. How we form our cohorts. So we actually have 2 levels. We have a junior grade level and a senior grade level. So junior grades are grades 8, 9th, and 10th, and senior grades are 11th and 12th. So that is one kind of segmentation that we do right at the outset. Beyond that, in order to differentiate between students of different abilities, what we have done is all of the projects are open-ended. So there's a floor that they have to meet, but there isn't a ceiling in terms of how sophisticated it can get. So what we often see is that students who are very, very high ability, their projects are absolutely excellent. And I'd be glad to share exemplars of those projects. So because it's open-ended, it allows every student to put in the kind of effort or the kind of involvement that they are capable of putting in. So that the open-endedness of the projects takes care of a lot of the differentiation.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, partly yes, but maybe you can connect over, a DM, and then you can help me understand a bit better.
Happy to do that.
Yes.
All right. So Saurabh had a hard stop, so he said he will connect with you separately on DM.
Sure.
I had a question which is about the whole space of experiential learning. And, and when you started, it wasn't really what it is now. And now I have personally, and I'm sure you have too, seen that there are some very interesting startups coming into the space. What is your view, Sriram, that, are we on the brink of a experiential learning explosion where we're going to see a lot more such products and programs coming in, and what are the challenges there that you foresee in the space? Because I know a lot of people toying with the idea or thinking about starting an experiential learning based company. So what's your view on this?
So, see, I think experiential learning is, according to me, the best way to learn, because there's nothing that teaches you better than doing something yourself. That said, how practical is it that all learning moves to that format? I think there are schools that are attempting to do that. I think a lot of the changes that the NEP will bring about is a move in the right direction. But I don't know if mainstream learning is going to be able to move to that in any time soon, because mainstream learning works backwards from the type of assessments that run. So we are able to do this because there's no assessment for what we are doing. There's no no one takes a junior MBA exam at the end of it. The minute there's a junior MBA exam, Byju's will do a way better job of getting kids to crack that exam than we will do. So that's I think that's the slight advantage that we have, in that the domain in which we are working is not assessed. And I think that means that we have the flexibility to keep experimenting, to keep finding different ways of adding value to children, to different ways of having learning become deeper. But I think the minute it becomes part of a structured curriculum, it sort of loses a lot of its appeal. It loses the open-endedness, and I think that finding that balance between open-endedness of outcome and the structure in terms of covering certain learning outcomes, I think that's going to be a key thing.
Thanks
but
for
a
that.
lot of the principles, I think a lot of the principles of how we design our programs, I'd be happy to sort of make that open source if it helps, because the principles aren't groundbreaking. It's just that we're consistently applying the principles, and as long as people are doing that, then no matter what subject they're trying to teach experientially, they'll still succeed.
All right. Thanks, Ram. I'll ask my last question at the end. Go ahead, Hina, and then Anu.
Okay, so I have two questions. I have met Clever Harvey like 2 years back. I remember the program, and since then I'm looking for a demo session on one of the products. Is it possible to get that? Because I think the demo would help us a lot in terms of driving it for a student. That's like one thing. And second thing I wanted to check is, I'm sure you might have spoken about it, but I just joined Lena, and that's my bad. If there is any, a curriculum or a structure, I know there's no curriculum to experiential learning, which I really understand, but any structure given to a kind of a program. So I think these two questions from my end.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll answer the second one first, actually, which is easier, because it's if you I'll just pull up our website, and if you just go into the programs tab, just pick any one program, for example, say data analytics. This gives you the full syllabus for the program, the industry tool that we train students in, the project that they will do, the concepts that we cover in each of them. So you can find details for all of our programs here.
Okay.
The first question is, in terms of a demo, absolutely. Are you associated with a school?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm associated with the school.
Oh, okay. Which one?
I'm currently associated with Vibgyor.
Okay. So absolutely, we can set up a demo session. Let me know whenever it's convenient. You can DM me, and we can schedule a demo session.
Absolutely, we can do that. All right.
Thanks,
Thank
Hina.
you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Hina. Go ahead, Anu.
Yeah. So Ram, about the pricing, on the website, when I see this is like 10,000 per program or something, and you just mentioned 7,500, and the program that's called the Founder has 3 parts of it, which is entrepreneurship, advertising, and technology. It costs about 45,000. Though together, I mean, it doesn't add up. The math doesn't.
I'll explain
Yeah.
this actually.
Sure, thanks.
So we offer programs in 3 formats. One is students can sign up for any one of these programs independently. So any one of these programs it's 10,000 on the website, but because we work through schools and we work through counselors, when students come through them, it's discounted to 7,500 per program. So that's one. Second is we also combine these programs in different I guess bundles or different combinations. So these are the combos. So there's a chief technology officer a combo or a bundle, which basically is made up of these 3 programs, plus a bunch of challenges that we call the intern circle challenges that students get access to. So this combination of programs is 45,000 on the website, but when students enroll for this via counselors or via schools, this comes down to 25,000. And then finally, we have a program called the Future CEO, which is an amalgamation of all of our programs. That's essentially an unlimited access to all Clever Harvey programs for a 2-year period. And that's 1 lakh on the website. But when schools introduce it to students or counselors introduce it to their students, that's discounted to 60,000. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you for discounting it for our students, Ram. It helps. Hope to see some of mine coming along with you. Thanks.
Yeah, Neendra, maybe we can have like a TOC special discount code for TOC members if they refer it to their students. Let's talk about that. We would love for our schools and our counselors to refer this. I know that I won't say that I have gone through the programs, but I have received feedback, and from what I know, there has been a lot of positive reviews. But of course, I would also personally like to maybe go through some of the modules, or maybe a demo or something like that would be great, or a master class. In fact, if you can probably conduct a master class for TOC members to experience what it would be like to be in awesome. Junior MBA classroom. I think we would love that, because we are all learners for life. So if we can do that, that'd be awesome.
Schedule that. Absolutely. We can just make that sort of open access. Anyone can come in. We'll have one of our facilitators conduct that session. We run these demos sort of 3 times a day anyway. And previously when we have done this with school administrators, they've loved the experience. So yeah, I'd be happy to do this.
Awesome. So I think that's a great next step. And if we don't have any other questions, then my last question to you is, do you have any advice for founders that are just starting off with a company that is in the space of experiential learning and skill building? Any words of wisdom because you're probably one of the most experienced founders in the space right now.
Oh, thanks, Adam.
It's true.
Yeah, I guess we just stuck around long enough.
You did.
Education is an industry where you can't sort of hope to hit a certain revenue target in like a 1-year time, 2-year time, 3-year time. You kind of need to seed the market, build your credibility, actually deliver quality outcomes in the programs. I think only as a result of that, the growth is a byproduct of that. So I think absolutely, if there's one thing for other founders who are getting into the space, it's to just be obsessive about the student outcomes that you're delivering at the end of it, because everything else is a sort of a follow-on from that. You can get a great team to join you on the basis of that. You can get great partners to join you, like how we have these corporates, universities. You can get a great set of investors to invest in you. But it all comes down to, are you actually able to deliver student outcomes?
Very, very wise words of wisdom. Thank you for that, Ram. I'm sure that a lot of us are going to benefit from it, because I also speak to a lot of different, you know, startup founders, a lot of people who are venturing into the space, and there is a lot of excitement, but there's also a little bit of confusion, because the question is, you know, what is the gap in the market? Is everyone solving the same problem? And it's a very creative space to create products, and it's not, you know, there's a lot of creativity in experiential learning. And then I don't think we nearly know enough about experiential learning to begin with. Yeah, thanks for that. And thank you all for joining. And I didn't forget to record this session. Usually I'm very forgetful. I forget to record the sessions, but today I have recorded it. And so we will share this with everyone. Thank you all. Ram, finally you show your face. Now at the end of the session, you're showing your face. What is this?
I just got my webcam to work. So sorry about that.
Everyone, this is what Ram looks like. So if you bump into him at a conference, don't forget his face. Ram, say hi to everyone. And thank you all for joining. Thank you all so much. You can connect with him separately. Thank you guys. Thanks, and have a great rest of the evening. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhakti. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.